It's official. Johnny Somali isn't just facing legal troubles anymore. He's reportedly battling a life-threatening addiction that's literally destroying him from the inside out. What started as controversial streaming antics has spiraled into something far more devastating. And the people closest to him are finally speaking out about what's really been happening behind the scenes. This isn't just another internet drama story. We're talking about a man whose own mother had to intervene, begging him to stop before it kills him. Sources close to the situation claim Johnny's addiction has reached nuclear levels, with insiders reporting he's showing up drunk to court hearings, wasting thousands of dollars on alcohol binges, and allegedly threatening public health in ways that could land him a decade behind bars. The most shocking part, his former ally Hank Yu has completely cut him off financially, and even his own family has reportedly refused to support him anymore. But here's where it gets really dark. Medical experts are whispering about potential liver cirrhosis, a devastating and irreversible condition that could end his life before he even sees the inside of a prison cell. Nobody knew just how deep this rabbit hole went until now. Let's rewind a bit. Johnny Somali's descent into chaos didn't happen overnight, but the warning signs were there all along. For months, viewers watched as his streaming content became increasingly erratic, with alcohol playing a central role in nearly every controversial moment that made headlines. Behind the scenes, sources say the situation was far worse than anyone imagined. Johnny himself admitted in leaked audio that he couldn't control his behavior once he started drinking. "I'm going to become a better streamer and be nice, and then as soon as I start drinking, everything goes to shit," he confessed in what insiders describe as a rare moment of clarity. But that clarity never lasted long. According to people familiar with his daily routine, Johnny was consuming alcohol like water, often starting his binges in the early morning hours and continuing until he passed out. The pattern became so predictable that those around him started planning their days around his drinking schedule. Hank Yu, who initially supported Johnny's streaming career, found himself caught in the crossfire of this destructive behavior. Sources close to Hank reveal he was spending thousands of dollars on Johnny's alcohol habit, watching helplessly as bottle after bottle disappeared in what witnesses describe as feeding a monster. The breaking point came during a particularly explosive incident where Johnny allegedly opened multiple expensive bottles in rapid succession, burning through Hank's money while live streaming to his audience. Viewers could see the tension building as Hank confronted him about the excessive spending, but Johnny seemed completely oblivious to the financial devastation he was causing. What made the situation even more disturbing was Johnny's complete lack of awareness about the consequences. Insiders claim he would make jokes about his drinking while simultaneously admitting it was destroying his life. "Alcohol is definitely the reason why I've done so many great things," he said in one stream, seemingly unable to recognize the contradiction in his own words. The most heartbreaking moment came when Johnny revealed that his own mother had reached out, desperately trying to save her son. "I talked to my mom this week and she was like, 'Really, you need to stop drinking. It's ruining your life,'" he admitted during what sources describe as an emotional breakdown on camera. But here's where it gets even darker. Sources familiar with Johnny's legal situation reveal he was showing up to court proceedings completely intoxicated, sometimes arriving more than an hour late with alcohol still on his breath. Legal experts who witnessed these appearances describe them as unprecedented and catastrophic for his defense. One courtroom insider, speaking on condition of anonymity, described Johnny's behavior as unlike anything we've seen before. The source claims Johnny would wink at people in the courtroom, make inappropriate comments, and even threaten to wear political merchandise to formal hearings. He showed up drunk and late to court almost every time, the insider revealed. The most explosive revelation came from creator Ryan Dawson, who had a face-to-face encounter with Johnny during one of these court appearances. Dawson didn't hold back in his assessment. He winked at me in the little hearing, then made it clear when he came out. He's like, "Nice to meet you, Ryan Dawson." "Great. You're still a misfit and your breath stinks." But that's not even the most shocking part. Dawson went on to describe Johnny's physical condition in devastating detail. He is dysgenic in every way possible. He's like skinny fat, smelly, ugly, everything gross. This wasn't just casual criticism. It was a medical professional's observation of someone whose addiction had physically transformed them. If you're finding this story as shocking as we are, make sure to hit that hype button and give this video some points. This is the kind of explosive content that needs to be seen, and your support helps us bring you more of these deep dive investigations into the stories mainstream media won't touch. Trust me, what's coming next will blow your mind. Medical experts who reviewed Johnny's public appearances have raised serious concerns about potential liver damage. Dr. Sarah Chin, an addiction specialist who has studied similar cases, explains that chronic alcohol abuse at Johnny's reported level can lead to cirrhosis, a condition where healthy liver tissue is replaced by scar tissue, eventually leading to organ failure. When someone is consuming alcohol at the levels being described, we're looking at a medical emergency waiting to happen, Dr. Chin told our team. The physical symptoms being reported, the smell, the erratic behavior, the inability to function normally, these are all consistent with severe alcohol poisoning happening on a regular basis. Then came the nuclear moment when Hank Yu finally reached his breaking point. Sources close to the situation reveal that Hank made the devastating decision to completely cut off Johnny's financial support, specifically targeting his ability to purchase alcohol. "I don't buy him alcohol. I've never bought him alcohol," Hank stated in what insiders describe as a desperate attempt to distance himself from Johnny's self-destruction. But the damage was already done. People familiar with their financial arrangements claim Hank had already spent tens of thousands of dollars enabling Johnny's addiction before finally realizing the situation was beyond his control. The most disturbing evidence came in the form of Johnny's own threats against public health. In leaked audio that has legal experts calling for immediate intervention, Johnny allegedly made statements about deliberately spreading sexually transmitted diseases. "I have had so much with Korean women while I've been locked here. I don't wear any protection, I don't get any STD tests, and I make sure to spread whatever I have," he reportedly said during a live stream. Legal Mindset, a respected legal analyst, broke down the catastrophic implications of these statements. In Korea, if you actually went over and threatened people with HIV, you could be guilty of injury, attempted injury, serious injury, special threat, attempted crime, murder, and that is 10 years in jail. Word on the street is that prosecutors are now stacking these health-related charges on top of Johnny's existing legal troubles, creating what one legal insider calls an insurmountable mountain of evidence. Sources familiar with the case claim Johnny's own admissions about his drinking and reckless behavior are being used as evidence of intent to harm others. But the most explosive revelation came from creator Atosi, who exposed the full extent of Johnny's deterioration. According to Atosi's investigation, Johnny's addiction had reached such severe levels that he was literally unable to function without alcohol, leading to what medical professionals describe as continuous intoxication syndrome. Insiders claim that Johnny's physical appearance had deteriorated so dramatically that people couldn't stand to be near him. When a man is literally drowning in alcohol 24/7, how can you expect a good smell from him? One source revealed, painting a picture of complete physical and mental collapse. This isn't just about Johnny Somali's personal destruction anymore. What we're witnessing is a catastrophic case study in how social media fame can enable and amplify addiction to deadly levels. Industry experts are calling this a watershed moment that could change how platforms handle content creators with obvious substance abuse problems. Dr. Michael Rodriguez, who specializes in addiction and social media, explains the unprecedented nature of Johnny's situation. "We've never seen someone live stream their own destruction in such graphic detail while simultaneously monetizing it. The platforms, the viewers, the enablers, everyone became complicit in what amounts to a very public suicide attempt." The ripple effects are already being felt across the streaming community. Sources within major platforms reveal that new policies are being developed specifically to address situations like Johnny's, where addiction and content creation become dangerously intertwined. "No one wants to be the platform that enabled someone's death for views," one executive told our team. But the implications go far beyond content moderation. Legal experts are now questioning whether enablers like Hank Yu could face criminal liability for financially supporting someone's addiction, especially when that addiction leads to public health threats. "There's a legal concept called aiding and abetting," explains criminal defense attorney Lisa Park. "If you're knowingly funding someone's destructive behavior, you could potentially be held responsible for the consequences." The international aspect adds another layer of complexity. Johnny's case is being watched closely by legal systems in multiple countries, as his actions have crossed international boundaries and potentially violated laws in several jurisdictions. Sources familiar with international law enforcement cooperation claim this could set precedents for how addiction-fueled crimes are prosecuted across borders. Perhaps most disturbing is what this case reveals about the audience's role in enabling destruction. Analytics show that Johnny's most viewed content consistently featured his most intoxicated moments, creating what psychologists call a feedback loop of destruction. Viewers were literally rewarding his self-harm with engagement and donations. The streaming industry is now grappling with uncomfortable questions about responsibility and ethics. How much destruction should platforms allow in the name of free speech? When does entertainment become exploitation? And what happens when the line between content and cry for help becomes completely blurred? The most terrifying part, this story is far from over. Sources close to Johnny's legal team reveal that his health condition is deteriorating rapidly, and there are serious concerns about whether he'll survive long enough to face trial. Medical experts who have reviewed his public appearances are predicting a complete physical collapse within months if he doesn't receive immediate intervention. We're looking at potential organ failure, severe withdrawal symptoms, and possibly death, one addiction specialist warned our team. But here's the twist: nobody saw coming. Some insiders believe Johnny might be using his deteriorating health as a legal strategy, hoping judges will show mercy to someone who's clearly suffering from severe addiction. It's a dangerous gamble that could either save his life or end it. The question everyone's asking now: will Johnny Somali become a cautionary tale about the dark side of internet fame? Or will this be the wake-up call that finally gets him the help he desperately needs? One thing's certain: the next few weeks will determine whether we're watching a redemption story or documenting the final chapter of a very public self-destruction, and the world is watching.